What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TCG Madness, and it's time for another Monday market video. We took a couple of weeks off from doing these videos, and boy, I picked a perfect time to take a couple of weeks off. We are going to return to Pokemon, no doubt, because there's a lot of stuff going on in the Pokemon single market. So what should you know about the hype if you've been living under the rock right now? A lot of single cards and a lot of sealed collection just absolutely exploding in popularity. In this video, I'm going to show you some of the biggest market movers, what you should know about those movers, and also too, I'm going to show you guys some sets and some cards that are flying under the radar that are significantly decreasing from some sets that are actually brand new with the announcement from Mega Evolution. So with that being said, we're going to get right into this video. But before we do that, if you guys can do me the really big favor, please hit that like button. If you're new, consider hitting that subscribe button. Don't forget to also hit the notification bell so you guys never miss when I drop a video. Now let's go ahead and head over to TCG Player, show you guys some of the biggest market movers. These are cards that are trending up. All right, we're now here at TCG Player. These are the cards that are trending up. These are some of the biggest market movers. And I'm going to tell you a little something that you probably should know about some of these cards that are moving in the market right now. There are some cards that I do think they're gaining some really big gains that I think you should just back off. Do not buy into the hype. There are other cards from other sets that I have been warning you guys about for a long time that I do think if you haven't gotten into it, it just might be a little too late in my opinion. So kicking things off, we do have Ghastly from Temporal Forces. 3 months ago, this card was 37.81. It's a card I've been highlighting a lot, actually. It was actually one of my golden picks, I believe. And now you see right now, as of today, 54.76. That's a 44% increase, and you can see a lot of them moving in that price. 38 sold here, 36 sold here. I do think this is a card that is being pumped up. I don't think this is organic. I don't think it's like sporadically. So maybe just hold off on this card. I don't think this is organic. The set that I do think this, we're going to get right into this. Now, this is the set I do think it's all organic. This is Scarlet and Violet 151. If you don't know, I have been screaming from the rooftops about this set in particular. I've been telling you guys, right? I've been getting crucified, not on YouTube, actually on TikTok. I post a lot of clips on TikTok as well, and I got crucified on TikTok because I said I think Scarlet and Violet is the next Evolving Skies-ish set. I don't think it's gonna be exactly like Evolving Skies, but I do think it's gonna have similar turnaround. I think there's gonna be a lot of cards that are going to be in the hundreds. It won't be like Evolving Skies where you got a couple of cards that are like almost in the thousands. I'm not saying it's going to be like that. I do think as far as just the popularity of this set, I know it's been printed into oblivion. That is not going to matter one bit when it comes to this set. Why? Because it's an OG set. This is a Gen 1 set. A lot of great Gen 1 artwork is in here. So here are some of the cards that are definitely exploding in popularity. I have been saying this Pikachu, I would have already been bought a long time ago. If you guys remember, if you guys have been with me for a while, I've been making a lot of these videos. I've been talking about this card in particular. Is also another card I had talked about 3 months ago, 25.48, and now all the way up to 46.07, 80% increase. I do think this is going to be a new normal price. I think it's going to be that 40-ish card price. I do think the potential is still there. I would still have no problem buying this card. There are 3 things that are definitely that are just absolute when it comes to collecting Pokemon, right? Sealed is always going to go up no matter what. It's a safe investment for sure. And then Charizards and Pikachus. I have absolutely no problem buying into those cards. I think no matter what, they will go up. Like I said, there's 3 things in this world that are absolute, right? Death, taxes, and Charizards. I would absolutely throw Pikachu into that mix as well as far as popular Pokemon. Next up, we have Blastoise from 151. 3 months ago, 60, and now all the way up to 81.69, 34% increase. If you take a look at the year, it's almost reaching its new highest. So these cards are all reaching like absolute new highs. Venusaur from Scarlet and Violet 151. I absolutely think this is the best as far as the starters go. I think it's the best artwork. I think this one's better than the Charizards and the Blastoise. So this is still a card I would still buy it even at this price. I would also check out some PSA 9s for sure. But 3 months ago, this card was 55.22, and now most recently selling at 74.31. And you guys can see it's going to come down just a little bit. So that's actually a little bit of a good sign. Of course, the big mover himself, Charizard. Again, like I said, Death, Taxes, and Charizard's always going up in price. They just always do. And there's going to be a couple of Charizards on this list. But Charizard from 151 3 months ago was 185, and now at 271, 45% increase. That's a pretty big increase on a very expensive card. Bulbasaur from 151. This guy's also seeing a pretty big movement as well. 3 months ago was 31.78, and now it is at 41.92, 31% increase. It's going to come down just a little bit, so that's a good sign there. And the now apparently like the second or third best card from Scarlet and Violet 151, a card that was also one of my golden picks. This is Zapdos from Zapdos EX from Scarlet and Violet 151. Again, really great card. 3 months ago, this card was only $48. Fortunately for me, I bought a couple in PSA 9, so this is looking pretty good for me. And now you guys can see, as of today, 85.81 was most recent sales, going for a 76% increase, so pretty good there. So now moving off of Scarlet and Violet 151, let's talk about a couple of promos too. Charizard V-Star promo. Both of these promos, SWH 262 and the other one I think is like 260. I would be buying both of those right now. I do think some new high norms are coming from these cards. But this card, 3 months ago, you could have picked up for $31. And as of today, pretty much double that. Today, going for $68.47. That's a 115% increase. And you can see directly from TCG, they think it's going to be an $82.69 card. So we'll see if it continues to go up. Another great card that I'm so happy I bought two in PSA 9s a couple of months ago. This is Groudon from Paradox Rift. 3 months ago, 73.74. It dipped all the way below to 67 and shot right back up now at 78.91. Within this year, this card was a $100 card. So I'll be very curious to see if this card does crack that $100 list again. Next up, we have Mew EX Scarlet and Violet promo. 3 months ago was selling at $27.81 and most recently selling at, what was the most recent sale? $36.62, 31% increase. And now you guys can see apparently it's going to cost you $68. Don't, again, these are one of the cards. Some of these you can tell are already on the list. Do not buy into the hype whatsoever. This card's definitely one of them. Gas, I think, is pumped up a little too high. Even the Zapdos, as much as I really love this card, I do think that's a little too expensive for this card. It would not shock me to see it come back down a little bit, like that $60, $70 range. But the Mew EX for sure looks like it's being pumped up for no reason. Next up, Gardevoir EX from Paldean Fates. 3 months ago was $76.16, and now most recently $116.65. That's a 53% increase, and you can see it's just going to go up just a little bit more than that. Another great Charizard card, apparently, Charizard EX Paldean Fates. 3 months ago was $167, and now most recently $278. 68% increase. And last but not least, Charizard EX from Obsidian Flames. Now, these cards were just absolutely hated on, really. No one likes this crystallized Charizard with a weird funky hat thing on his head. But again, because it's a Charizard, people just still go nuts for it. 3 months ago, could have gotten this card for $57. And now, most recently, $124.66. That's a 118% increase. I myself actually pulled one of these on the channel, and I have been holding on to this card because, again, I actually pulled it. I think at the time that I pulled it, it was like a $39 card or something like that. I was like, there's no way Charizard should be worth that much. I'm just going to hold on to it until it eventually skyrockets. And lo and behold, it did. So that's going to do it. Those are the big heavy hitters that are trending upwards. Now, let's flip the script and actually show some good news, some cards that are actually trending down that you can pick up and probably ship off the PSA. Okay, so we showed you the big market movers and cards that were trending up. Now, here is some good news. There are a good amount of cards actually trending down from some very recent sets. Most notably, and you'll see in this list, a bunch of cards from White Flare are all just absolutely tanking. I'm talking 20-30% decreases. So let's get right into it. Kicking things off, we have Reshiram EX from White Flare. When the set first dropped, this card was sitting $347 and now naturally dropping, which is good, all the way down to $171. It's a 50% decrease, and you can see what's being sold. So it's going to go a little bit cheaper. This is good news. My golden pick, we're actually going to get right into it. This is my golden pick, and this comes from courtesy of White Flare. This is Zoroark. Great illustration rare from White Flare. You can see when the set was first announced at a $40 range, it peaked all the way up to $46 and now drastically dropping to $38.61 in 1 month. This card went from $45 all the way down to $38.28, 16% decrease. The reason why it's my golden pick, couple of reasons. I like good budget picks that I think have good potential. Everybody knows the big chase from this card is the card I just showed you. It's Reshiram EX. But it's always trying to find what those other possible second, third, fourth top tier cards are going to be. I do think potentially this can definitely be one of them. It's a beautiful looking card. Right now, very affordable. I do think this card will continue to see a little bit in a dip. If it gets to below $35, I think it's a perfect opportunity for you guys to scoop it up. Or if you guys have been paying attention to my other videos, pick them up in PSA 9s and just hold on to them for a while. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to try and buy a bunch of cards that are gem mints, I think you can pass them off with PSA 10s, by all means, but you want to buy at the right time. I do think this card is going to keep dropping just a little bit more. I do expect to be under that $35 range, which would be a perfect pickup. Or again, if you're someone like me who's okay with the PSA 9s, you like that stuff and you want to build your collection, I do think picking up a Zoroark for like a $40-$45 and a PSA 9 would just be perfect as well. So that's why it's my golden pick. And of course, Rounding out the list, also we have Zorora from White Flare, also on a nice little decrease from 1 month ago. 1 month, 28.39, and now all the way down to 19.02, 34% decrease. Drudagon, another card. Set was first announced. This card was pretty expensive at the $25 range, and it is tanking out, so that's a good sign. 1364, 47% decrease. Jellicent EX. This is actually a special illustration rare. So when the set was first announced, 92.50, now all the way down to 44.82, 51% decrease, and you can see it's going to continue to go down. Most notably, it's probably because it's special illustration rare, sure, but it's for a Pokemon that not a lot of people really care about that, honestly. Now this is something I do want to point out too in this video. This is Hilda, White Flare. I do expect at some point these trainer cards to start making a run for it. Right now, a lot of trainer cards are very, very affordable. Even in PSA 10s, you could buy a couple of them that are well below $100. But something to definitely keep an eye on. I do think at some point we're going to see a little bit of a run on these. Who knows when? 3 months ago, 86.35 or when the set was first announced, and now all the way down to 65.62, 24% decrease. And you can see it's continuing dropping out, as right now up for sale for 53.68. Seismitoad is another card. This is from Black Bolt. So Seismitoad, this card was definitely had a nice run. It was all the way over up to $232 in 1 month. This card was a little over $200, and now all the way down to $149, 28% decrease. I do expect. I heard there was something weird about this card. I don't know exactly what it is. Maybe someone can comment on this card. I guess this card was maybe being canceled for its artwork. Again, have no clue. Don't care. Just care about what the market is telling me. So another good card right there, illustration rare that was once very expensive. We also have Buffalin EX from White Flare. This is also another special illustration rare. This card, I'm surprised it's not a little more expensive, but I'm happy it's not. When the set was first announced, this card was sitting at $38.20, and now all the way down to $18.32, 52% decrease. Oshawott from White Flare, $49 back in July, and now all the way down to $39.73, 19% decrease. Whale Lord from Journey Together. A month ago, this card was sitting at $21.87, and now all the way down to $15.31, 30% decrease. Team Rocket's Moltres from Destined Rivals. Finally, some cards from Destined Rivals coming down. A month ago was selling at $170, and now all the way down to $137, 18% decrease. Rotom from Destined Rivals is a nice little budget pickup for you guys out there. 3 months ago was $593, and now all the way down to $352, 40% decrease. We also have Team Rocket's Giovanni from Destined Rivals. 1 month ago was selling at $49.54, and now all the way down to $43.77, 11% decrease. And we have the 3 big movers from Prismatic Evolution. Now, Prismatic is definitely continuing to see a decrease from being printed time and time again. Plus, I don't think a lot of people really care about Prismatic Evolutions. I know that everybody wants the Evolution cards. Outside of those cards, I don't think a lot of people really care about this set. I do think this set's, in my opinion, overrated. But 3 months ago was over $1,000, and now all the way down to $846, 27% decrease. Jolteon, 3 months ago was $257, all the way down to $156, 39% decrease. And last but not least, Leafeon EX Special Illustration. 3 months ago was at $291, and now all the way down to $214, 26% decrease. So like I said in the beginning of this video, some big movers, some big heavy hitters, some absolute market manipulation, and some very heavy market fluction as well. I do think 151 is naturally going to happen. I think that you're going to naturally continue to see that growth. I do think you're going to see all new highs for 151. Outside of that, I would wait and see a little bit. Just wait and see what happens. Wait a couple of weeks, wait even a month and see what happens. See if those Groudons, those Ghastlies come back down to earth. In the meantime, White Flare, Black Bolt with the announcement of the Mega Evolution, which everybody's definitely holding on to their money for because that's what everybody now wants, and it's definitely all the focus is on that new set coming out. White Flare and Black Bolt is the perfect time right now to keep your eye on and buy right now. Buy singles from that set, buy PSA 9s from that set, or even potentially some PSA 10s. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. If you did make it this far in the video, please, again, do me the big favor, hit that like button. If you're new, consider hitting that subscribe button. Really want to hear from you guys down below in the comment section. And as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys next time.